.com. Aquí estamos haciendo radio.
Hola, muy buenas tardes a todos. Bienvenidos aquí a 3 a las 5 con Nathalia, con Degna. Hoy vamos a hablar, todo este mes hemos venido hablando del tema de real estate y hoy les tenemos una sorpresa muy especial porque es precisamente para todos los agentes de bienes raíces y también muy especial porque tenemos nuestro invitado, un coach de real estate a nivel nacional, pero además lo que hemos venido hablando acerca del tema de la educación y de venir aquí a este país es en inglés. Hoy el programa va a ser casi que un 60-70% en inglés, pero no se preocupen, vamos a tratar de traducir y de interpretar y de darles a las ideas y las recomendaciones que nuestro invitado tiene aquí. Quiero empezar primero que todo saludando a mi equipo de trabajo, Nathalia, Degna, ¿cómo están?
Muy bien, Pedro. Muchísimas gracias por esta presentación, porque es muy importante, porque la comunidad hispana están muy pendientes y yo sé que a todos este programa de hoy va a ser de mucho provecho. Así que vamos adelante hoy.
Así es, yo muy contenta, pues ya me habían visto en el noticiero, pero aquí nuevamente vamos a hablar de inversiones. Como lo menciona Pedro, va a estar en inglés, pero bueno, vamos a poner también en prueba qué tal y cómo están ustedes con el idioma, porque bueno, esa es parte también de ir avanzando y crecer, ¿no? Siempre cuando se saben los dos idiomas, pues es mucho mejor. Así que dale tú la bienvenida al invitado.
Pues bueno, muchísimas gracias. Hoy estamos aquí con el gran Eric Orland. Eric, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good. Buenos días, amigos.
So as I was telling you, Eric Orland is a national coach, a real estate national coach. He's been doing this for just around 30 years, is my understanding.
Yeah, about 25 years I've been a real estate coach. That's correct.
That is amazing. Tell us, Eric, how you started in this amazing career.
You know, I almost fell into it by accident. So I launched my real estate career in 1991 in Southern California. Now, anybody who's been in real estate for any length of time would know that was one of the worst real estate markets of all time. Unfortunately, I was 30 years old at the time and had no success in my life. So I didn't see many other options. I figured I'd try my hand in real estate. But my mindset when I got into real estate wasn't if I was going to be successful, it was how successful I was going to become. In my second year, I sold 128 homes, breaking most of the records in the state of California. Really, really fortunate, but my mindset was really treating the business not as a hobby, but as a profession, Pedro. So it was really important to me. And then, as life would have it, I wound up moving back to Washington, D.C. for my spouse at the time, who worked in the Clinton administration. And I clearly couldn't sell homes from California to Washington, D.C. So I started teaching, I started sharing with people the tools and systems that I had used to become a successful real estate agent. And I started sharing it with others, because I've always believed the more you give, the more you receive.
Oh, yes.
But also, when you tell somebody something, what you're doing, it almost forces you to continue doing it. There's a sense of accountability. So that's how I got into it.
That is beautiful. And if you allow us, we're going to translate, because the majority of our audience is Latino, is Hispanic.
Please.
So we want them to understand exactly that amazing story that you just told us.
Thanks, and I apologize for my lack of Spanish.
No need to apologize.
My girlfriend is Venezuelan, as I mentioned, and I've learned three words in the 2 years that we've been together. It's tranquilo, cállate, and tranquilo, cállate, and cuchino. Shut up and be quiet, you pig. So I'm really working on my Spanish.
Ok, so Eric nos está diciendo que le preguntamos que cómo comenzó su carrera en el área de real estate y nos dice que estaba en California casi que de suerte, de fortuna, de coincidencia. Comenzó a vender casas. En su segundo año vendió 128 casas, 128 en su segundo año. Y es así como Eric comenzó a subir en su carrera, luego se casó y se fue a vivir para Washington, y en Washington su esposa estaba trabajando para la administración de los Clinton y ya no podía mantener su negocio en California y en Washington, así que decidió comenzar a ser coach de real estate. Y es así como lleva ya 25 años enseñándole a agentes de bienes raíces cómo hacer su trabajo, es lo que lo apasiona porque siente que dando es como él recibe también.
So actually, all your story is amazing.
Thank you.
But it's because I can tell how passionate you are in the aspect of teaching, but giving a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. It's not about, and we keep mentioning here in the program, it's not about the home. It's about the lifestyle that people wants to live, the way that they are dreaming. So actually, you are like, how you say it? You made dreams come true.
Thank you.
You are like probably like the Disneyland for houses. But tell us what was the most difficult part to become a real estate agent? Because some people don't mention that.
Right. I think the hardest thing for most realtors is to really treat the business as a profession and not a hobby. And I think it's easy because when you make a sale in real estate, you very often get paid a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So I think very often people will come into the business and not treat the profession as a profession, but as a hobby. So to me, it was very important for me to run it as a professional. And it started with me honoring my calendar. I'm a firm believer. If you're not honoring your calendar, you're not honoring your profession. If you're not honoring your profession, if you're not honoring your profession, are you honoring the quality of your life? Because we spend so much time working. So really honoring my calendar and then taking the time to really hone my skill sets, understanding how to engage with people, not by talking at them, but by asking questions so I could be of great service.
Yes.
That is great.
Interesting. Yes, because sometimes people tend to talk, but they never ask. And when you ask is when you exactly know what's going on with that person and what is the way of for them to think. So it's easier for you to find a solution for them.
I agree wholeheartedly. You know, I think that whether regardless of what type of sales business you're in, whether you're selling telephones or you're selling real estate, what you have to remember is selling is about solving people's problems and meeting people's needs.
Correct.
And the only way to solve a problem is to understand the problem by asking appropriate questions. That's how you're really of service. And that was always my mindset. Not being a great talker, but being a great listener.
Yes.
Entonces, así rapidito en español. Una de las preguntas y una de las cosas que él menciona es de que muchas veces el real estate, algunas personas lo toman como un hobby y no, debe de tratarse como una profesión, con ese respeto siempre de un profesional. Al mismo tiempo también cuidar su calendario, manejar el calendario, tener organizado, porque de esa manera pues usted va a saber cómo manejar la situación, va a lograr que su negocio también avance. Y lo otro también que yo le pregunté es referente a la importancia de escuchar y de hacer preguntas más que simplemente hablar. Y él estuvo totalmente de acuerdo conmigo que tenemos que, y el real estate, el agente, tiene que convertirse en esa persona lista para escuchar al otro y no tanto es cómo hablo tan bonito para convencerte, sino tú estás acá es para servir.
Y más allá de eso, Eric, I would like to ask you, because you just mentioned that not only the real estate agent, but everybody on sales should be accountable to respect their time, respect their agenda, respect their calendar, to be a professional and to feel it, to be passionate about it. In your opinion, what is in today's market, what is it that real estate agents are struggling with?
I think accountability, Pedro, really holding themselves accountable.
All right.
Because I think being in real estate, being an independent contractor, you have nobody overseeing you or supervising you. So really holding yourself accountable, I think, is the most important thing. And I keep it coming back to treating the business, as a true profession, not as a hobby. That is really, really important to me.
Now let me dig a little bit on that question, because when you say being accountable, for example, in my own experience, I am coming from the corporate world, so I used to be 8 hours under the command, let's say, of my boss. So I knew exactly what to say. I knew exactly what to do on daily basis. I used to come, punch in, punch out. How do I become accountable now that I am my own boss, that I am starting in this career, becoming an entrepreneur?
Gotcha. Really great question. So for me, at the end of the day, my calendar dictates my life during my workday. I time block every activity to ensure that I'm acting as a professional. I mean, common sense would dictate, when we're in business for ourselves, why wouldn't we put forth all of the necessary time and effort to really build our own business? If we were working, like you had mentioned before, when you had a career, you're working for a complete stranger, yet you're giving 8 hours of your time and effort each and every day to help that person build their business. The mindset has to be, why wouldn't you do the exact same thing for yourself?
Even more, right?
Right. I mean, it's just common sense.
Sometimes I think one part is that some people lack of, they don't believe about them. They don't believe themselves. They don't think they have the knowledge. They don't have. They believe that they don't have the capacity. So that's why sometimes it's easier for certain people just to go and follow a corporate and say, okay, I work 9 to 5. I'm happy with this. I will settle and happy life. But in reality, they're not excited. They're not happy with themselves because they're not doing something that they love to do. And something that you just said is accountability is important in every single aspect. But for some reason, in order to us, it's kind of difficult. We don't follow it. And it shouldn't be like that. What do you think that it makes that the biggest problem of people not to be accountable about their lives?
I think for me, there's two things that come to mind. Number one, when it comes to accountability, I always think, I've got a 19-year-old. Well, he actually turned 20 yesterday. No longer a teenager.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Great kid. But you know what? I want for my son to have everything in the world that he aspires to be. How do we say to our children, the things that we love more than anything else or anybody else, how do we say to our children, reach for the moon and grab the stars, be passionate about what you do, and achieve greatness if greatness is what you want? How do we tell them that if we're not living our life by that? So to me, it's about leading by example. And when you lead by example, if you're not loving yourself enough, then do it for your kids, man. Set an example for them what success looks like so they could have everything or achieve everything that they aspire to achieve in their life. And then the second thing for me that really comes up is I will take someone's will and desire to be successful. You have to have that will and desire. That's more important than talent any day of the week. I think what you said is really accurate. People don't believe in themselves, but I think that it's very hard to create a fire in somebody's belly, to create goals, to create ambition. My success is taking that fire and being able to tame it. But I think it starts with someone's will and desire to be successful.
I agree.
And then reaching for it and leading by example.
Aquí, rápido, seguimos hablando de la importancia de uno tomar responsabilidad de su propia vida, porque muchas veces uno no cree. Entonces, a veces se toma la opción de trabajar únicamente de 9 de la mañana a 5 de la tarde y por alguna razón ahí sí somos responsables con nuestras acciones, pero cuando queremos crecer y avanzar, siempre nos da ese miedo. ¿Por qué? Por la falta de creer. Entonces, definitivamente es importante para creer y para avanzar, se necesita esa energía y esa fuerza interna de seguir tus sueños, así sea, si no es para ti, al menos que sea para tus hijos. No sé si Degna tenga alguna pregunta.
Sí, ahora que mencionas lo del miedo, en algún lugar leí que muchas veces la persona, el realtor, él vende o compra, hace que su cliente a través del miedo. ¿Por qué? Porque muchas veces esa persona, por decir algo, tiene miedo a vivir digamos, en un conjunto residencial donde hay X o Y tipo de estilo de vida o de personas. Entonces, esa persona que le va a vender esa propiedad empieza a decirle, sí, mira, digamos, vamos a otro lugar donde tú te vas a sentir más seguro. Entonces, muchas veces las ventas se hacen también como en base de el miedo que tiene el cliente, porque de acuerdo a eso le buscan o le ofrecen. Lo mismo pasa con las personas que ya están jubiladas o las personas que ya sus hijos se han ido, tienen miedo de estar solos. Entonces el vendedor ya sabe eso y empieza a decirle, sí, tienes razón, vamos a buscarte otro lugar más seguro. Entonces, de cierta manera, ante el miedo del comprador o del vendedor, el realtor le da una seguridad. ¿Es cierto o no es cierto? Que ustedes se encargan muchas veces de darle como esa seguridad al cliente a través de la búsqueda que empiezan a hacer.
So her question is, if it's true or not that we as real estate agents, we based part of our sales, how we serve our community, our clients, based on their fears. If we identify those fears in order to find solutions for them and accommodate to those needs.
You know, what you're asking me, it's a very good question. So it's identifying what we call people's pain point. You know, what are people's pain points and how do we alleviate that? I had mentioned before, selling is about solving people's problems and meeting people's needs. It's exactly what you're asking me. By asking the right questions, you're able to gather or ascertain that information so you could properly serve your clients. But it is really identifying those pain points, and it comes from not talking at people, but engaging them in a conversation so you could be of service to them.
La respuesta es prácticamente de que sí, ellos usan la parte, miran los puntos, miran qué puntos de dolor tiene el cliente. Entonces, de esa manera, ellos están, como se dice, para ayudar a aliviar el dolor. Entonces, sí, efectivamente, ellos es importante, y lo menciona, es quitar ese dolor, pero siempre es por medio de escuchar y hacer las preguntas correctas para irles quitando ese miedo y eventualmente va a haber esa compra exitosa.
Okay.
Now,
Muchísimas gracias.
Eric, how a real estate agent prepare himself to find or to identify those pain points?
You know, again, to identify pain points, it's about engaging people. It's understanding, going into a conversation, at least for me, knowing what were the right questions to ask. I think very often realtors go into a conversation wearing blinders on. They don't know what to ask. They don't know how to engage somebody. So for me, I always went into a conversation understanding what questions I wanted to get answered. So it was really important for me to not be scripted. I don't want to sound robotic, you know, where I am sounding like a robot, but I wanted to be able to control the conversation when with a client so I can gather the necessary information and be of service. So for me, it was about internalizing scripts, making them part of my personality, so it came off, Pedro, as being really, really natural, and so I could, again, be of service.
Could you give us an example?
So if I was walking a neighborhood or I was engaging with somebody, I would take them to what's called the general prospecting script.
All right.
So I would say, for example, if I had met you and I'd met you, I would start a conversation, say I knocked at your door. So Pedro, were you aware that your neighbor's home just went on the market at 1313 Mockingbird Lane? Yes or no, maybe so. Well, Pedro, I wanted to bring to your attention that the home just came on the market, and the reason I was popping by was to see if perhaps, do you happen to know of a friend, a relative, or a coworker that may have an interest in moving to the neighborhood?
That is clever.
Yes.
You know, so they would say either yes or no. And what that would allow me to do, Pedro, is lead with the next question. You know, Pedro, I'm committed to reaching out to 200 of the surrounding neighbors and posing to them the same questions I just posed to you. Common sense would dictate I'm going to identify a new group of buyers that may have an interest in moving to the neighborhood. Now watch. Pedro, having said that, have you given any thought to selling your home now or in the near future? Nope, I don't think so, Eric. How about within the next 2 years? Oh, really, yes? When would that be, the first 12 months or the following 12 months? Oh, potentially the following 12 months. Any indication earlier or latter part of the year? These are all questions. And then I would say, Pedro, may I ask, where is it that you plan on moving to? Oh, San Antonio, Texas. I don't know why I said San Antonio. San Antonio, Texas. May I ask? And then I would want to understand their motivation. What has you moving to the San Antonio area? So it was a continuum of questions. So my day as a realtor was successful when I was not sitting at a desk, but when I was out engaging with people so I could be of service in my community, helping people. And this is what realtors don't get. Very often realtors discount the importance of what they do. We spend so much time in society anointing, you know, CPAs, accountants, or attorneys. What realtors don't realize, Pedro, is they're the ones responsible for helping people make their biggest purchase.
Absolutely.
Or dispose of their most important asset. So why not be a professional when you do that?
We have to treat ourselves as professionals.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely. So let us translate this because I believe it's very important.
Yeah.
So basically from the very beginning, we ask Eric what is it that, how is it that, cómo es que las personas identifican, los agentes de bienes raíces, identifican cómo servir a sus clientes? Y básicamente la respuesta que él nos dio es identificando esos puntos de dolor que hacía la referencia Nathalia. Y luego le preguntamos, ¿cómo hace un agente de bienes raíces para identificar entonces con preguntas esos puntos de dolor que tiene un cliente? Y la respuesta que él nos dio es lo que hemos venido hablando en todo este mes, es básicamente creando relaciones. No es tratar de conseguir una venta en el día de hoy cuando estoy hablando con Degna o con Juan o con Pedro o con John, pero es creando relaciones. Y nos dice que él tiene un paquete de scripts, de diálogos, que ya los interiorizó para no sonar como un robot, para no sonar como una máquina cuando está enfrente de ese cliente posible, sino que suena como algo normal, una conversación común y corriente basada siempre en preguntas, porque esas preguntas simplemente lo llevan a generar un reporte que lo va finalmente llevar a convertir esa persona en un cliente.
Something that I like about the questions. Questions are definitely the secret if you want to engage with someone else. Because with questions, actually you're showing the person that you care about them. Instead of, I know this, I'm a real estate agent, I sold these many houses, I create this, I build this. They don't care about that. People don't care about that. So questions, when you ask them, how are you doing? How do you feel? How is the neighbor? They're going to engage in that conversation. So definitely the secret, let's say secret, but it's just common sense, like you just said, is just ask questions, and you definitely will have that person engaging with you, feeling like you're not trying to sell. You actually care about what's going on with them.
Correct. And when someone's asking questions, they're really in control of the conversation, aren't they?
Totally, yes.
They are, aren't they?
They are.
I just did it with you right now, didn't I?
Yes.
This is
You
called
see?
this is called
And
a
I'm
tie-down.
answering.
This is called a tie-down, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could do this for the next 2 hours, couldn't I?
You can.
Eh,
Asking questions allows you to remain in control, and you said something that was really important. You said it lets people know you care about them. So often when we're in a conversation and we're doing a lot of talking, we don't know, Pedro, if that other person is comfortable or not. But when you're asking questions and somebody is sharing with you, that's an indication that they're comfortable.
Completely.
En pocas palabras, yo diría que es muy importante que el vendedor o el realtor se ponga en la posición del comprador o del que está queriendo vender su propiedad. Creo que esa es la mejor, de acuerdo a lo que estoy escuchando y he entendido, es la mejor manera de poder hacer una venta real, ¿sí? Y lo importante que es conectar con las emociones de ese cliente, porque está visto que a través de las emociones nosotros podemos lograr muchas cosas. Entonces, si tú entiendes por qué emoción está pasando ese posible cliente, tú vas a poder desde ahí empezar a conectar más fácil con él. Y realmente cuando tú quieres vender o quieres hacer algo, pienso que es muy importante ponerse en la posición del cliente. Dar el trato que uno también considera o como quisiera uno que lo trataran. Entonces yo creo que eso es fundamental y creo que es lo que ha dicho Eric, en pocas palabras.
¿Le traduces tú o le traduzco yo?
Como tú quieras.
Tradúcele tú una parte y tradúcele...
So what Degna is saying is that it's extremely important, not only on the real estate side, but as well, pretty much in everything in life, is to generate those emotions, to create that relationship with people, to put ourselves in the other party's shoes, to identify, as you mentioned, the pain points. Some of the things that I do when I am prospecting, now because of COVID, I do it from my phone, my house. I just make a lot of phone calls. I remember my client or my prospect's name. And within the conversation, it's just probably 5 minutes, no more than that. But I mention his name probably 5 times, just to make sure that he understands I care about him, just starting by his name, mentioning and remembering his name.
It's really important to do that because what you're indicating by doing that is that you care about the person. Remember, people are going to do business with you if they like you,
Yes.
if they trust you, and if they deem you as being competent or responsive to their needs. So that's why it's so important to ask questions. And I'll give you a little secret, Pedro. I use an acronym an acronym that, and it's Ford. The acronym is Ford. Think of the car, F-O-R-D. If you want to get to know somebody, ask them questions about their family, F-O, occupation, R, recreation, and D, dreams. It's really simple. When you're engaging with your clients, in order to build that rapport, ask them questions about their family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. It's
Let me
really
translate
simple.
that because
It's
it's
easy.
very,
Yeah.
very important. So Eric nos acaba de decir que las personas realizan negocios con nosotros, los agentes de bienes raíces y con cualquier vendedor, porque confían en nosotros, porque nos gustan, hay una empatía y porque además nos reconocen como personas que somos responsables. Y nos da un consejo muy grande, y es que él básicamente crea un acrónimo siempre que está realizando una conversación con un prospecto. Y ese acrónimo es la palabra Ford, como la marca de los carros aquí en los Estados Unidos. Ford. Y significa familia, family. O para la ocupación, occupation. R, recreación, lo que le gusta hacer las personas. Y D, what is the D for?
Dreams.
Dreams.
Your
Los
goals.
sueños.
Sueños.
Los sueños o las metas. Very important, Eric.
Thank you.
That's an amazing. I'm gonna write it down because yeah, it's great. It's going to help for every single aspect of someone's life. So les va a ayudar a todas las personas. Así no vendan real estate, pero sea lo que ustedes estén queriendo hacer, les va a definitivamente ayudar. But tell me something. Because right now you have 25 years of experience, you have been on the ups, downs.
Definitely.
What is the best advice that someone gave you when you started this profession?
The best advice, I don't know if the best advice somebody gave me. I think that when I got into real estate, I just had a burning desire to be successful. And I was willing to crawl over mountains or swim through rivers to have that success. Because in my belief pattern is that our accomplishments in life define who we are. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie Jerry Maguire with Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
about a sports agent.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And there's a
I
very
remember.
famous scene in the movie where Tom Cruise realizes he loves Renee Zellweger. And he walks into the room and he looks at her in front of an audience of people and he says, "You complete me." And it was the most beautiful, heart-wrenching scene. But the reality is, it's a bunch of malarkey, crap. Nobody in the world completes you. You complete
agree.
yourself when you take action and have a sense of accomplishment. Because when we like ourselves, we're better parents, we're better friends, we're better husbands, we're better wives, we're better in the world.
Yes.
Because we have a relationship. You get a relationship with yourself when you take action and you have a sense of accomplishment. You know, and that's what drives us. Have you ever noticed when you're on the freeway, or here in Florida, the highway, and somebody cuts you off, a normal reaction is to react to that.
Yes.
We're typically not mad at that other person. We're typically mad at ourselves for something that's going on in our life.
Yeah.
But when you have a sense of accomplishment each and every day, and you take a specific action and you feel good about an accomplishment, you start building a relationship with yourself. That is the most important thing that's what gets me up in the morning each and every day, having that feeling of euphoria because I have a sense of accomplishment.
So practically is that everything starts from within.
It does.
Everything in every aspect of your life. If you want to change the world, let's put it like that, you need to start with you. What are the things that you're doing? How are you feeling? Because
Yeah.
we mentioned, we must make someone feel nice, feel love. But how about you? Are you loving yourself, like you just mentioned?
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling comfortable with yourself? And depending on that is the type of people that are going to come to your life.
Absolutely.
So, es bien interesante lo que él está mencionando porque le pregunté qué fue uno de los mejores consejos que él tuvo cuando comenzó la carrera. Pero él dice que más que un consejo es su experiencia y su deseo en ese momento de comenzar algo grande. De que usualmente, y habló de una de las películas de Tom Cruise donde él dice que tú a la actriz en esa película le dice, tú me complementas. Y que la verdad no es de que nadie complementa a nadie, es todo comienza y es por uno, cómo tú te sientes, cómo tú te amas, cómo tú te respetas. Entonces ahí lo que prácticamente yo le estaba diciendo es definitivamente El punto es de que todo comienza en uno mismo y de ahí es lo que se proyecta y es ahí cuando llegan las personas que te van a ayudar en el camino.
Yo diría que ese es el gran secreto.
That's the big secret. That's what she said.
Gracias.
Eric, so for a new agent, how to find that goal, that desire, that fire?
You know, it really has to come from within. You know, an opportunity is only realized, you can only achieve something if you seize it. So why be average in life? Folks, remember, it's as easy to aim high as it is low. Very often we're out there with our goals and we minimalize the things that we want to accomplish.
True.
You know, life is so precious and it can be taken away at a moment's notice. Think of all the mass shootings that have happened in our country recently.
Yeah, 47.
Right? If you asked any of those people if they could have one more minute on Earth, right, they would say absolutely, in an effort to accomplish something great. Well, folks, we're alive today. Why wouldn't each and every day we go out there with the mindset of making it a masterpiece? So it starts from within and embracing that each and every one of us make a choice in life. We can choose to be average, or we can choose to be extraordinary. And when someone is an extraordinary, all they're doing is they're taking extra action not to be ordinary. That's what makes them extraordinary.
But let's put it something, there's certain people that they want to do extraordinary things, but they're surrounded, sometimes put them down all the time.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that we're seeing in life, someone says, I have this big dream, and the parent or the spouse or the best friend is telling, no, you're not capable, don't do it. Why are you going to do that? So definitely you need to believe in yourself. But certain people, they need steps on how to believe about their capacity. What are the things that you will recommend them to, hey, you know what, yes, your spouse is telling you don't do it, but if you have that burning desire, how can they put that emotion in paper and put it in action without listening their surroundings?
Thank you for asking me that question. I love that question. Number one, surround yourself by positive people. Surround yourself with people that could empower you, not disempower you. So really surround yourself with what I call people that have a winner's type of mentality.
Oh, yes, that's amazing.
Secondly, I start off my day each and every day taking myself through a morning practice or a morning ritual. And
Yes.
I do 5 or 6 different things in the morning to establish a mindset
Yes.
where I can go out there and achieve anything in the world that I want to. And it starts when I'm first laying in bed in the morning. I ask myself 3 questions where the answers to those questions are so debilitating. For example, if I choose to lay here in bed and procrastinate, does that move me towards my goals? Or does that move me away from my goals?
That's
If
a
I
good
choose
question.
to lay here in bed and not take action, am I exemplifying behavior that I would want the child who I love to emulate, or am I sending the wrong message? If I choose to lay here in bed and not take action and procrastinate, are those the attributes of somebody I would consider a winner, or somebody I perceive to be a loser?
That's painful.
And man, it thrusts me out of bed to take action. And from there, I start asking myself, I start saying affirmations. It starts in the shower
Affirmation
and
is-
when I
it's
am
amazing.
shaving, telling myself a positive message over and over. I'm a strong and capable man, able to achieve anything in the world that I set out to achieve. And I say this over and over to myself, not allowing negative thoughts to come into my head. You know, it's really funny. I was doing this a couple of months ago, and my son walks past the bathroom, and he knocks on the door, and he says to me, "Dad, you're certifiably insane." And I said, "Why do you say that?" He said, "Here you are in the bathroom seducing yourself in the morning." And I thought,
Well,
I want to write
course.
a book. Why wouldn't you seduce yourself in the morning? Why do we go out there with the mindset of seducing everybody else instead of making us feel good?
That's,
course.
That's correct.
Yes, that's correct.
And then I'll just give you 2 other ones, and then every morning I get up and I put on a YouTube video, something that's motivational. I love a video called Mind Shift. It's a compilation of Tony Robbins and Les Brown.
he's amazing.
Really good stuff. And then I get a quote on my phone every day. It's called a thoughtful mind. And it's a positive quote. First thing I do is I roll over, I pick up my phone, and I hear something really, really positive. So by doing those 4 or 5 simple steps, I've programmed myself that I'm going to have a powerful and impactful and a positive day.
That's something that I love what you're saying. And let me ask you something. At what time do you wake up? Because that's another secret. Successful people, they tend to wake up between 4 to 5 a.m. to have that time. And certain people, they don't make that. That's the first step to change your life.
It is. I love the morning. I've always loved mornings. I'm typically up between 5:30 and 6 o'clock every morning, but I've never been a night person. I go to sleep, I get a good night's rest, and I wake up every morning with a can-do mindset each and every morning. And that's the beauty of mornings. You know, regardless of how bad of a day you have, the beautiful thing about tomorrow is you get a chance to start all over again. Don't take old luggage with you. When something happens over the course of your day, if you don't have the best day, we all have good and bad days. Tomorrow's the start of a new day. You get to start over each and every day. But make today and every day great. That's the mindset. Make today your masterpiece.
Nathalia, yo creo que es importante que le dejemos saber esos tips que nos acaba de dar Eric,
muy importante,
porque son demasiado importantes a nuestro pueblo latino que nos escucha. We're gonna translate.
Please.
Bueno, aquí prácticamente la pregunta fue, ¿qué es lo que usualmente nosotros tenemos personas en nuestro camino, sean familiares, amigos, que muchas veces uno tiene ese sueño grande y maravilloso y uno tiene todas esas ganas de avanzar, pero uno va y le cuenta la historia y le dicen, no se meta en eso es muy pesado, eso es muy difícil, ¿para qué lo va a hacer? Entonces le pregunté, bueno, ¿cómo se puede combatir esos pensamientos externos? Número 1, definitivamente hay que rodearse de personas positivas, personas que tengan ese pensamiento emprendedor, que piensen en grande. Eso es básico. Pero también individualmente, él, por ejemplo, dice, yo todas las mañanas me levanto temprano, le estaba preguntando, él se levanta entre las 4:30, 5 de la mañana, medita, toma su tiempo de reflexión, ve videos donde afirmaciones, y él se repite constantemente, ¿no? Las afirmaciones, yo soy grande, yo soy poderoso, yo puedo hacer esto, yo hago tal cosa. Y es muy importante, y eso también se lo voy a decir, la importancia del yo. Yo soy, así usted en este momento no lo sea. Pero ese tipo de afirmaciones a usted le va a ayudar definitivamente a ir creando esa persona que usted ya tiene aquí en la mente, pero en el momento que usted comienza esas afirmaciones va convirtiendo ya su realidad en lo que tiene en su mente. Una de las preguntas que yo le hice, y él también dijo, ¿qué es lo que me hace a mí levantarme temprano? Él tiene 3 preguntas y Pedro ahí me puede ayudar si se me va una. Es, si cuando él se despierta, él dice, cuando yo me levanto, se pregunta, si lo que yo voy a hacer, si al levantarme me va a llevar a seguir progresando y a mi objetivo, o me va a atrasar en mi objetivo. Y eso es una de las cosas que le ayuda a él a animarse. La segunda pregunta es, si yo me despierto en este momento y me levanto, me va a ayudar a conseguir ese sueño para beneficiar a mis seres queridos, o va a atrasar también esa meta. Y la tercera es la que se me corrió un poco. La tercera
es, yo creo que la más dolorosa, Nathalia, y a todas las personas que nos están escuchando, porque básicamente él involucra a su hijo, a la persona que él quiere, que tanto adora, y que pues los que somos papás es lo más importante que tenemos, y él básicamente se pregunta, si yo me quedo aquí en la cama y pongo el despertador a las 5 de la mañana, pero simplemente no me despierto y sigo durmiendo, ¿estoy siendo un buen ejemplo para ese hijo, el que digo que tanto amo y que tanto quiero? ¿Está mi hijo viendo un buen ejemplo cuando yo simplemente me quedo durmiendo y no salgo a cumplir mis metas, mis responsabilidades y a alcanzar esos sueños que ya me he trazado? Yo creo que eso es importantísimo en cualquier área, en cualquier industria en la que estemos, sobre todo para las personas que están empezando un negocio, porque no nos vamos a decir mentiras, eso sucede. Uno pone el despertador y dice, no,
pero es porque entran las dudas,
Seguro.
internas, y eso es lo que hay que combatir eso constantemente. Por eso las afirmaciones. Y I want to ask you something, because we as coaches, we understand that every change in the beginning is hard. Right now we're saying to them, yes, wake up at 4 a.m., wake up at 5 a.m. and start doing and saying affirmations. But probably people are going to start doing it 3 days in a row, and reality, let's say like that, hit them, and the habits that they've been doing for many years start hitting again. So doubt comes. How, to my understanding, is like to change a habit, it takes around, to actually change it takes around 60 days. And the first 30 days are tough.
You bet.
Tough. It's like a completely fight with you. What are the things that you tell that someone you're coaching and say, I can't do this is impossible? What are the things that how you guide them with that?
Remember that we're all habitual. Human beings, we're all habitual. We create certain habits amongst ourselves, and it's hard to break a habit. Really hard.
Tough.
So what I recommend is the following. Get a week-at-a-glance calendar. It's a week-at-a-glance. It's a hard copy calendar. And time block everything that you want to accomplish. Put your calendars in place before the work week starts. And on your calendar, have all of your personal and professional activities all written down. Really important. And carry that calendar wherever you go with you. Wherever you go. And when you look at your calendar, you're going to have one of two feelings. If you're doing what's on your calendar and you're following it, you're going to feel good.
Of course.
If, in fact, you look down at that hard calendar and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to feel bad.
Awful.
So nobody is ever going to walk over to a hot stove and intentionally put their hand in a stove and burn themselves. We don't want to hurt ourselves.
No.
Absolutely.
So if the goal is to feel good, then you need to honor your calendar. Use your calendar as a source of empowerment to feel good. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, that calendar should bring up the emotion where you want to give yourself a kick in the rear end and get back on track. So my calendar acts as a source of making me do things that I may not want to do, but I'm willing to take action because I don't want to bring up those feelings of feeling bad. The other thing that I would say to you is, folks, at the end of the day, when we're laying in bed at night, is it worth sitting in bed and asking yourself all these terrible questions?
Oh, yes.
Am I worthy? How do I pay my bills? Did I waste my day today? Am I a procrastinator? Am I good at this? Am I bad at this? I subscribe to the following. It's a lot easier getting up in the morning and simply taking action, even if I don't want to.
Get it done.
Just take it.
It's a lot easier to get up in the morning and take action and to get the success that I want than laying in bed at night and questioning who I am as a father, who I am as a human being, who I am as a boyfriend. It's a lot more painful to ask myself, and it takes a lot more time to do that than it does to simply get up in the morning and make each and every day a masterpiece.
Eric, one question. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to translate because later I forget.
So let me ask the question and then you translate. Eric, what is the difference between the hard copy calendar and in nowadays, especially for millennials, they may say, you know what, I put everything in my phone.
Come on, I'm millennial.
So my
relax.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth.
My phone is right here in front of me. My phone is off. My phone or my computer is not open 24/7. When I am committed to getting rid of a habit and doing something new in my life, creating something new, creating something that's going to benefit me, I want it in front of me each and every day, so I take the time to see it, so I'm reviewing it, so I can really embrace what's in front of me. If you have an electronic calendar, right, whether it's on your phone or your computer or phone is not open in front of you all the time. It's really simple for me to carry around a calendar in a nice leather binder and take note of what I'm doing.
I'm a millennial, but I do that. I'd rather to see my handwriting because it makes it more personal.
It does.
It makes it like you are the one that is setting this to yourself instead of going online. Una de las cosas, así resumir todo lo que se ha hablado, una de las cosas más difíciles que nosotros hacemos y decimos queremos el cambio, pero es que cambiar duele, ya es por puro instinto de nosotros en la mente. Un cambio siempre va a doler, sentimos esto me va a lastimar. Entonces usualmente para crear un nuevo hábito se necesitan 60 días. Pero hay que comenzar, como se dice, el primer mes vas a empezar a sentir algo diferente en ti. Pero algo muy interesante que está diciendo, ya es de que no te tomes, como se dice, todo el mes o los 60 días inmediatamente, sino que ve por semana. Saca un calendario, más que usar el online, sacas un calendario donde tú escribas, que es algo que también recomiendo muchísimo, escribir qué es lo que tú tienes planeado para la semana, sea en tu profesión o sea en tu vida personal. Y debes estar constantemente viéndolo y hacerle honor a lo que tienes en esa semana. Y te vas a sentir genial al final del día, porque vas a ver cómo día a día estás logrando esas metas y no te vas a acostar con el remordimiento de que no lo hice y frustraciones. Así que es muy, muy importante eso. Y desafortunadamente la mente y nosotros nos hablamos más negativamente que positivamente. Tenemos que empezar a cambiar eso. I was telling them the importance of talk about positive, because we tend to always say I'm not worth it. So instead of saying I'm not worth it, say I'm worth it.
You bet. I'm going to give you one other exercise. I apologize. One other exercise to utilize at night. Take that hard calendar that you carry around with, take it to bed with you at night, and take out a yellow highlighter and acknowledge everything that you did that day. Highlight it and say, I'm wonderful, I'm terrific, I'm outstanding. Start focusing on acknowledging the accomplishments that you have in your day. Not what you didn't accomplish, but in fact what you did.
The positive.
It is.
Not the negative.
Always comes down to that.
Sí, y una manera para completar un poquito lo que están diciendo, una manera también es de que cuando tú empiezas un proceso de cambio, ya verte al otro lado. Es la manera más fácil y más dinámica y sin menos complicación de llegar a esa meta. Tú estás escribiendo y estás pensando, pero ya te estás viendo en esa situación. Entonces, eso te ayuda muchísimo.
Degna is saying the importance to visualize ourselves, like we already did it. We passed the challenge, because that helps us to keep moving forward, to feel secure of what we're doing is right. So visualize, la parte de visualizarnos, visualize is also a secret, but it's not a secret, it's obvious, it's common sense.
Y que yo creo que está muy bien ligado con lo que él estaba diciendo ahora, de que es más fácil levantarnos por la mañana y tomar acción, que es lo que mucha gente falla, porque simplemente dejan las cosas para después, o lo hago ahorita, apenas son las 5 de la mañana, lo hago ahorita más tarde. No, es levantarse, tomar acción y salir y hacerlo. Al final de la noche uno se siente muchísimo mejor que en vez de uno sentarse a decir, uy, no hice esto, nada de la lista lo completé. Y Eric nos acaba de decir que también una de las cosas que él usa como terapia para sentirse mejor es que al final de la noche coge ese calendario, va por su lista con un marcador, con un resaltador, y él mismo se dice frases positivas. Eric, so now if someone, a real estate agent, wants to be coached by Eric Orland, what needs to happen?
So I've recently affiliated with an organization called EXP. It happens to be the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. It's the first cloud-based real estate company. Everyone knows what I mean by cloud-based. I mean, think about this. 10 years ago or so, when we wanted to rent a movie, what would we do?
Go to Drive and go to Blockbuster.
We drive and go to Blockbuster. It seems archaic to ask that, right? Today, in the comfort of our home, we downstream a movie to our television or a tablet. EXP is the first cloud-based real estate company that's out there, really providing realtors two inherent benefits. One is a level of coaching, training, and support for them to take their business to a whole new level. Folks, you can't be successful if you don't have the right tools and systems are in place. The second benefit to realtors is it offers realtors multiple streams of income. For the first time, providing real estate agents a sense of financial stability or security. If anyone would like to join our team, I would ask the following. Simply reach out and contact me. I'd be happy to give you my cell phone number. Reach out, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you and have an open mind. I mean, the goal is, obviously, we wake up each and every day with the intent of to best providing for ourselves and our family, right?
Yes.
So I would simply ask realtors that are listening to today's radio show, if a brokerage platform at EXP allowed you to keep more of your commissions and offered you a platform that may align with many of the goals that we talked about here over the past hour by offering you multiple streams of income, one of which happens to be passive, would you be open-minded to changing the course of your life so you could better fend for yourselves and your families?
So let me hear you. So if I hear you well, so you're saying that with EXP, the company that you're affiliated now, not only realtors can make money on the traditional way, which is when they sell a property
Correct.
or when they help a buyer to buy a property.
Correct.
There are more ways to make money with EXP.
Without a doubt. So some of the benefits of EXP is you're getting coached by people like myself, where I'm working hand in hand with you to ensure that you take your business to the next level, number one. Number two, you're getting leads. You're getting buyer and seller leads to ensure, Pedro, that you sell more property, that you're putting more money in your pocket.
Okay.
At EXP, there's a cap in place, meaning it's when an agent hits a certain level, they never pay more than $16,000 to EXP. So out of all of the full-service real estate companies, EXP has the lowest cap in place, meaning agents are keeping more of the money that they're making, and every agent has the ability, somewhat like a broker, to build out an organization. The only difference is, at EXP, there's no liability when you build an organization. You don't have to manage agents, right? There's no monthly overhead or capital outlay. And I found that in my 30 years in real estate, it puts realtors, the EXP platform, puts realtors not only in a position to be more successful, but to keep more of their hard-earned monies. I'd love for people to reach out to me. I'd be happy to work with you. And again, folks, this wouldn't cost you a penny. We don't charge to be a part of our team, but I'd love to get acquainted with you and see if I could be of service.
What is that phone number?
My phone number is, should I do it in Spanish or English, since I haven't spoken Spanish at
Let's
all?
try it, let's
You ready?
try it.
Let's try. Come on.
Here we
I
go.
know you can do this.
415-995-9000, just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. 415-595-9000. Listen, I've always
You did
believed in
great.
life that the more you give, the more you receive. I'd love the opportunity to talk with you, share information about EXP, and see if perhaps if it's the right fit, the right direction that you want to take your real estate business.
That's amazing. I know that you're going to translate.
Yeah.
We have 2 minutes. So before he starts translating, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you to take the time to educate the Hispanic community. I think we did our best to translate.
Yes,
So now finish the program.
So le preguntamos a Eric dónde lo podremos encontrar todos los agentes de bienes raíces que todavía no tienen un coach. Es algo que yo siempre me he pensado, me he meditado, ¿no? Que he pensado en esto. Gente como LeBron James, que está en las alturas de las alturas, ¿no?
Todos necesitan.
Tiene un coach
Sí.
Todos.
y gasta una cantidad impresionante de dinero en coaches. Muchas veces los agentes de bienes raíces decimos, no, I don't need a coach. Yo no necesito un coach. No, sí se necesita, porque no las sabemos todas. Y le preguntábamos a Eric, entonces, ¿dónde lo podemos conseguir? ¿Cómo es el número? What is the number?
415.
In Spanish, please.
495
495. 495.
Do it for
We
me,
have 1
please.
minute. We have 1 minute, please.
415-595-9000.
Ok, y entonces ahí es donde podemos encontrar a Eric. Vamos a recibir no solamente toda su asesoría, todas sus enseñanzas acerca de real estate, pero él está también asesorado o está también con una compañía que se llama EXP, es la compañía de real estate más grande en los Estados Unidos en este momento y tiene no solamente la oportunidad para agentes de bienes raíces que hagan comisiones en la manera tradicional, pero también pueden realizar comisiones y recibir ingresos de muchas otras formas, una de ellas siendo ingreso pasivo, de la misma forma que lo hace un dueño de un broker. Así que amigos, esa es la invitación de hoy, espero que les haya gustado el programa y esperamos verlos y escucharlos y que nos permitan estar con ustedes el próximo martes, porque estamos los 3 a las 5, y nos vemos entonces el próximo martes. Muchas gracias a Nathalia, a Degna y a nuestro invitado de honor. By the way, you are the first guest of the show.
Ah,
Yes, you are.
thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for having me. No, muchas gracias.
Nos vemos el martes y algo que decir. Tenemos ya.
No, que yo creo que todos aprendimos. Hoy
De todo.
aprendimos de todo.
Bueno, así que nos vemos el próximo martes. Somos 3 a las 5. Pedro, Degna y Nathalia.